The XFL is back, baby, and the third time's a charm. We all know the college football season ended in less than ideal fashion, and the NFL is down to its last couple weeks, which will no doubt deliver some riveting games. But with the end of the season comes the darker reality that we have to endure another long and arduous offseason. Enter the XFL and the USFL, but that's later and I'll cover that in another video. But we've seen this movie before. XFL bursts on the scene with all the hype in the world, only to end in bankruptcy. But this time's different, right? The owners have learned from their mistakes and they have a plan for a long and prosperous future, I hope. Here's why I'm optimistic. Feel free to let me know in the comments how wrong and naive I am, but so I want more quality football, sue me. Anyways, let's take a look at the teams. In the North Division, we have the DC Defenders, the Seattle Sea Dragons, the St. Louis Battlehawks, and the Vegas Vipers. And rounding out the South Division, we have the Arlington Renegades, the Houston Roughnecks, Orlando Guardians, and the San Antonio Brahmas. I guess it's a type of cattle in Texas, native to India. Alright, but comment below who you're rooting for this time around, and possibly full roster breakdowns in future videos. Overall, I'm gonna give the XFL branding a 7.4. Battlehawks have hands down the best branding of all the teams by far, but I do love the Sea Dragons. Really, the only team that I have a genuine problem with are the Vipers. So much potential, and that's what they came up with. I guess that's why they don't even feature them on the website yet. I probably should have stuck with the old one. But it's not just the logos and the cities that have changed. In true XFL fashion, we have new forward-thinking rule changes. Unfortunately, we won't be getting the scrum from 2001 to decide who starts with the ball.
Ready! Set! Couple of safeties going to scramble for the right to possession. The hometown hero is on it, but the ball's still alive. Jamel Williams jumps on it. And the hometown guys have...
But we will be getting tiered extra points. 2-yard line, 1 point. 5-yard line, 2 points, and 10-yard line is a 3-pointer, baby. Compare that to the NFL, which pushed their extra points back to 15 yards and they still only get a measly 1 point. So expect a lot of teams to be scoring in bunches of 9. Clock runs after incompletions or out of bounds prior to the 2-minute warning. This seems like an attempt to keep things more fast-paced, which I'm good with. And centralized replays, all replays are reviewed in a central location, which is a big deal, I guess. But an important note, replay may correct non-reviewable plays for either player safety or any issue in the last 5 minutes or overtime. So hopefully we won't be getting any more of this.
Talk to each other. Crowd's going crazy as there's no flag right on the Saints sideline.
And last but not least, in the fourth quarter only, in place of onside kicks, teams can attempt a 4th and 15 from their own 25-yard line in order to keep possession after a score. This obviously opens the door to some crazy plays, some crazy comebacks, and I'm assuming the defense takes over at that spot if they do hold them, which would be insane, but that will be fun to watch play out. So aside from the new teams and the rule changes, why after so many failed attempts is this one going to be any different? I think the fact that it's coming back after being derailed due to COVID is a good sign. Maybe I'm alone in thinking this, but it felt like they had something cooking back in 2020 before COVID shut everything down. It shows investors still believe that a league like this, if run properly and effectively, has the potential to be around for more than one season. You'd think after so many failed attempts, something is bound to stick. And 22 brought us a number of success stories with players graduating to the NFL. These were awesome and we want more of these going forward. Some of the standouts being obviously Taylor Heineke, who burst onto the scene with the Battlehawks and now ended the 22 season as a starter for the Commanders. PJ Walker might have been the best player back then and is now in a backup role for the Carolina Panthers. As many as 11 players from the 2020 season made a 53-man roster in 2023. So you really never know which standout player in spring could be helping your favorite team come fall. All of these guys are itching for a chance to prove themselves. Guys who didn't get a shot for whatever reason are on a mission to prove that they belong on the biggest stage. That means we get intense, hopefully high-level football. And if the XFL could magnify that, I think there's definitely a market to be carved out for high-level developmental type football league. The XFL needs to focus on football and their forward-thinking rule changes and limit the gimmicks of the past. I know those iterations tried to fuse football with WWE-like entertainment, and that works to pique interest, but what's ultimately going to get viewers to stay is just good quality football. And the NFL has a rooting interest as they use the league to test new rules, develop coaches, and not to mention players. I think it's great that the league is positioning itself not to be a competitor with the NFL, but to be a sort of farm league for it. I think there's definitely plenty of intrigue to pique football fans' interest. Like, how will these new rules play out? How will the XFL and the USFL coexist? Or is there a merger coming if one or both leagues are somewhat successful? They've also moved some past teams from markets that already have football teams to some without one previously. This could be a smart move when it comes to growing a loyal and proud new fan base. And I think they're beneficial to TV networks, providing cheap content to fill gaps in TV scheduling during off-season. And streaming could also be another positive factor for them in the future. Another thing the NFL has going for it is just a fresh start on fandom. Unless you live in one of the select 8 cities, you can pick whatever team you want. I live in North Carolina right now and I'm all in on the Sea Dragons. So let's hope that the third time really is a charm and we get more Taylor Heineke's or PJ Walkers to root for. I mean, who in their right mind is rooting against more football? So let me know in the comments if you guys want more XFL content, because I'm all in this season. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video and I will catch you guys in the next one.